That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, no time for questions. Lydia, would you like to come up? Lidia Cucurull is no, I think a lot of you know her, and she was very important to the development of data assimilation for RO.
Okay, thank you, everybody. I want to start by saying that some of you may not know, but there's been some continuity, legacy on the NOAA side after COSMIC. Dave Hector was also the program manager for COSMIC 2 for 3 years. He was an IPA, not the B at IPA, but he was assigned as an IPA to NESDIS, and he managed COSMIC 2 from that. And I became the COSMIC 2 chief scientist at NOAA when I was already a federal employee for about 3 years. So there's been some continuity here. I'm going to talk a little bit about my history, my remarks, impressions, what COSMIC did to me. And most of you know, I was born and raised in Barcelona. I finished my PhD in summer 2001. My PhD was in physics. I did a lot of mathematics and physics there, but I was working at the space of Institute of Space Studies of Catalonia. I was working with Estelle Cardellac, so we were colleagues and co-workers and co-students there. And also Giuseppe Aparicio was there for a few years, I think, as well. But we were working under the guidance of Antonio Reus in several projects involving GPS. That was quite revolutionary in Europe. So I was doing all the classes in physics and mathematics at University of Barcelona while working at the same time on these European projects. And Jennifer has mentioned one of them, MAGIC. And it was all ground-based receivers. And I didn't know Chris Rocken at the time, but I surely read all his papers, and I was his #1 fan at the time. I'm still a fan of you, Chris. So I did a lot of work on that. So for my dissertation, I was very interested on ground-based GPS, data simulation, and as Antonio Reus used to say, it's all common filters, so we could do that. So I was so interested in ground-based GPS, meteorology, data simulation, that I moved to the US in January 2002. So I came a little late to the game, but I moved to Anchor as a postdoc to work on a military project. It was fun. I was quite impressed as a young girl from Barcelona, but it was not challenging enough to me. So I started engaging in collaboration with Bill Kuo, who I have read all his paper as well. And he told me at some point, well, there's an opportunity to work on radio occultation for something that's going to be launched, the COSMIC mission. The job is to go to the Washington, D.C. area to work under something that's just being built called the Joint Center for Satellite Data Simulation. So you're going to be part of your time at NASA, part of your time at NOAA, and said, and it's a great opportunity for you if you are interested. At the time, I was not really sure of even if I wanted the job. When I moved to the US, I came to the US, I said for 1 year, and then I'm gonna practice English, and then I'm gonna go back. It's been almost 23 years now, so I obviously didn't do a good job of keeping my promise about just staying 1 year and go back to the US. I didn't keep a good, my second promise about being good in English, because as my daughter keeps reminding me, I need to keep practicing my English. And she said that I need to keep working a little bit every day. So at that point, I said, well, maybe, you know what? I'm going to join the program. I'm going to move to the East Coast if I get selected for the job. So I went to the interview. I went with Bill. We rented a car. We went to that interview. And after a very long day of questions, I got selected for the position. On the interview panel, some of you will recognize the name. There was Jonah Joyner from NASA, Jim Yo from NESDIS, and John Dorber from the Weather Service. So I packed my belongings and I drove across the country from Boulder, Colorado to the Washington, D.C. area. I started working on the NASA side of the Joint Center, but my job was getting more into what NOAA and ENSA was doing. So John Dorber said, well, maybe Lydia should move to the ENSA building. So here I am from Goddard. I went to Campus Springs and I started working there. I was supposed to work with John Derber, but at that time I found out that my position was founded by NSF, by Jay Fine. They were trying to place someone at NOAA so it could be interested in working on the data simulation, because at that time, NOAA didn't care much about radio occultation data. John Derber really was one of those people that didn't believe in radio occultation data. And I also heard that he was not very friendly to people. So with that in mind, I decided to stay in my cubicle at NSEP and keep working on my own until one day Jim Yo came to me and said, well, Lidia, how's it going? Oh, it's going very well. Well, John Derber is asking why this new postdoc is not coming, is not going to talk to him. Say, holy cucarachas. I mean, imagine, I'm afraid, quite frankly. But I got my courage as a good girl from Barcelona, and I went to talk to John Derber, and that was it. He was not just a great scientist, but a great person, and I dearly appreciated of him all the things I learned from him. So I worked very hard. I learned a lot working with him, with Jim Purser, and also Rush Tridian. Those were my anchors while I was at NSEP. There was a lot of work coding using chunk data, preparing for Cosmic. So it was many long hours of work, weekends included, but then there was a lot of fun as well. And somehow Chris McCormick and Chris touched on the drinking component of it. So I'm gonna explain briefly a story that I hope Ricanthus and yeah, he remembers. But there was this, we used to have the Cosmic Retreat. I was a Yukon employee at NSEP. And I think it was right after the launch, there was we had a celebration at that yearly, I think was Esther Sprite Retreat. Rick was tired, said, I'm gonna go to bed, but you know, guys, there's a cooler full of drinks and I'm paying for it. So drink as much as you want. And I will pay the wine, the beers, whatever was in that cooler. I don't know what happened, but it was Chris Rocken, Dave Ector, Bill Schreiner, and I. We finished the cooler. We drank it all. We party, we dance. And the next morning, you should have seen the eyes on Rick Anthony's. Holy cow, you drank it all. Like, I think he learned you can never underestimate scientists about their capability to party and drinking, particularly people from Barcelona also. So he never made that offer again. I'm still waiting. Now it's just one glass away from time to time to Murphy's in Boulder. So, but it was a lot of fun. And then finally, the launch took place. So I went to the launch. I was not on the VIP area. I was on the field with everybody else. And it was so cloudy that I couldn't see a thing. I kept hearing nominal. That was the most sexy voice I ever heard. And it was like heaven to me. I guess that means it's going well. So yeah, there was the launch. Some of us were there. And this is a nice picture that we took after the launch. Rick Anstey, Dave Ector, Jeff Fine, and myself. I haven't aged a bit either. And some of you don't know, but Dave, it's also, in addition of being a musician and an engineer, he's also a pilot. So we flew to Vandenberg in the area for the launch. And that's him. And that's his Cessna 382, 282. Remember the number, but a Cessna. And so we flew there. And then those plots came in. I did some evaluation of anomaly correlation score, 500 millibar, northern hemisphere on the top, southern hemisphere on the bottom, 2 experiments, one without cosmic in black, one with cosmic in red, and those were done in November. So that was at the end, right a few months after the launch of Cosmic, and that got the attention of Louis Uccellini. Louis Uccellini was the director of NSEP. I was briefing him often, and also John LaMarche, but that got Louis very excited. You can see here the distribution of the profiles, the 6 satellites stacked, and that picture on the top right was taken on April the 21st. I was at UCAR, and that's the picture we took for the first profile. This is why I hope Doug and others remember that picture. I don't know who took it, but it was April 21st, just a few days after the launch of Cosmic, we got the first profile and we were all celebrating this. I don't know if a stick had coffee or something else in that mug, but we were definitely very happy. And then there was plenty of presentations about this. Now, I want to talk a little bit about, since Rick said to make this fun and kind of personal, that Cosmic didn't just touch me on my professional career. Along those years, I never went back to Spain. I will go when I retire. But I've been here. I keep working on radio occultation, not as much as before. Now I manage a team and looking into microwave, infrared, and on other sensors. But I owe my career to the Cosmic program and for Bill Coor to giving me that first opportunity. But I want to say that Cosmic also touched me on my personal life. Dave and I, maybe because of all these parties, I don't know, but we got married 2 years after the launch. So here's us and with our parents. 3 of them are deceased, so I wanted to put them in this picture. Only my mom is alive. And then I want to say, if I don't know if you recognize the guy on the top left, that's Robert Lockwood from Orbital. He was the deputy program manager for the Orbital for Cosmic. Well, he married us. He came to Hawaii with us, and he had some kind of degree from the universe, motherhood or whatever, and he married us. So in Spain, because a lot of my family came to the wedding, he's known as Reverend Robert, and they think he's really a reverend. So, and we kept friends. Yeah, I only have 2 more slides. What happened after that? Well, we had a daughter. Leia was born in 2012, and some of you have asked about her. She brought a lot of joy to our lives. You see here, she's a Barca fan, wearing the t-shirt from the Barca football club. And that came along, she was growing, and my last slide is here where she is now, and we are. She is a full and growing teenager, 12 years old. Thank you.
That was great. Okay, Jeff.